The oldest sibling was always the very responsible one.
After high school, Ed had a carpet cleaning business.
Ed was very diligent and incredibly savvy as a business person. In 1988, Ed's brother Andy is opinions very seriously.
Andy just trusted Ed.
The two brothers came together and fed off of each other's strengths. They were seeing their dreams coming true.
On June 10th, 1995, Ed Haas and I finally got married. His family was there. His sister Elizabeth did my flowers for me, and they helped me pick out my dress. They were so good to me and so fun. We were just a great family. You wouldn't have known.
Ed was the primary force managing finances. The two brothers could definitely butt heads. Andy is a very spontaneous man and would sometimes feel like Ed was being too cautious.
Andy was a ticking time bomb, and he made Ed nervous. But what can you do? That was his brother.
Andy called me frantic one day. Said he just got done tearing the office up. Andy was on the computer and he found a second set of books. A bunch of money was gone. Andy believes that Ed's been stealing money from the company for 10 years. He's just fuming. After that, the relationship between the Haas siblings fell apart really fast.
The woman was acting. I would have reacted that I was now linked to a burning corpse.
She loved everything about him. She adored him. He said that he was on the run from the CIA. Who the hell is this guy?
She became obsessed with him.
He said, if you don't stop, I'm going to kill you. I'm a killer. That's what I do.
Watch to death. New Sundays at 7, only on Oxygen.
Coming for Korean tacos. Leave with the best of both worlds. What we value most shouldn't cost more.
In this ad, pay attention to the actor's gums. Gums? We don't think about them. But like skin, over time, gums can get damaged. Colgate Gum Renewal. Reverses for a beautiful, revitalized smile.
Nacho, better with Pepsi.
For unbeatable natural-looking color, nice and easy cream. 100% natural-looking color that lasts 8 weeks. Out with conditioning in every step. Nice and easy. Nicer and easier.
Hey, you! Domino's is giving away $50 million in surprise free.
Other delivery apps add surprise fees, and Domino's was giving out surprise frees instead. When you order delivery online, you can be surprised with free food. I love it from Domino's.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people like Geico because it's just easy. Bundling, for example. You've got car insurance here and home insurance here. Zoop, put them together. Save even more. Some things are better together, aren't they? Like tea and crumpets. You wouldn't bundle just anything. Like, say, a porcupine in a balloon factory. Now, that'd be a mess. I mean, for starters, porcupines are famously no good at a team setting.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Switch today and get 2 lines of unlimited and 2 free smartphones. Plus, you'll now get Netflix on us. All this for up to 50% off versus Verizon. It's all included. 2 lines of unlimited for only $70. And this rate is fixed. You'll pay exactly $70 total. This month and every month. Only at T-Mobile.
Cleopatra was the most powerful woman in Egypt. But no one likes a diva, hun. Watching Prime Video, she realized rulers could get back. So she ordered some gifts with Prime. money laundering kind of vibe. Couldn't give it all the gold though, but I do try and chase everything.
Milton County Sheriff's Office are a potential homicide or missing person named Edwin Hawes, still more unknown.
By 5 p.m., we still haven't located Edwin.
We've been told by his roommate that he usually drives a 2005 Volkswagen Passat, so the notice was put out looking for this particular vehicle.
We began canvassing the neighborhood, and there was one neighbor in particular that reported that the evening in question, he had heard some rustling, maybe some people arguing coming from Edwin's home.
The neighbor described it as almost like a basketball to the gut kind of sound. That matches what a medical examiner believes the blood loss at Edwin's home occurred.
That was all. At that same time, I was given information to contact the employer of Edwin Hawes. He was gravely concerned about Edwin's well-being. He knew about a restraining order that Edwin had against his brother and sister, Andrew and Elizabeth. He knew about threats being made towards Edwin. They claimed Edwin had stolen all the money from the family business, and they intended to do something about it. He told me, matter of factly, Edwin was missing, Andrew and Elizabeth Hawes were responsible, and that his life was in danger. But we questioned whether or not siblings. We looked into the basis of the restraining orders placed by Edwin.
In July of 2008, Andrew attempted to drive Edwin off the road.
He ran his vehicle into Edwin's as Edwin was driving. Andrew Hawes had been charged with 2 counts of second-degree assault against his brother.
Part of his bail arrangement included a no-contact order with Edwin Hawes.
A short time later, apparently Elizabeth was snooping around the property. Edwin felt she was a threat, went to a judge, and got an order for protection against her as well.
We also find that these had been near Edwin's residence the previous evening. So we spoke with our deputies to explore deeper.
While on routine patrol at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, about a mile from Edwin's home, some deputies came across a parked vehicle in a park. It was a Hawes lawn.
The Hawes lawn service truck was at the golf course the late evening into the early morning hours. The deputies felt something was unusual.
They decided to investigate. They walked around the truck, they didn't see anything. While they were there, a female then came out of the woods. She identified herself as Elizabeth Hawes.
The deputy spoke with Elizabeth, and she gave conflicting and indications of her being in the neighborhood.
She made some suspicious statements about she was supposed to be at a cocktail party. Obviously, this wasn't the right time of night to be going to a cocktail party.
The deputy had outstanding gut instinct to know that it just didn't fit.
They do a background check and find the restraining order against Elizabeth Hawes.
The order forbid Elizabeth from being at her party.
Elizabeth's brother, Edwin, lived not far down the road.
One of the deputies decided to drive to Edwin's house to make sure that he was safe.
When he pulled onto the road, the deputy saw a male in the roadway.
The individual waves him down, claiming he's in medical distress and needs help.
That male was identified as Andrew Hawes. Andrew told the deputy he has diabetes and he may be having some type of diabetic reaction.
He explained his sister Elizabeth is just down the road and he was needing medical assistance.
Ambulance was called for Andrew, and he was treated by paramedics at the scene.
And as Andrew starts apparently feeling better, he starts getting a version of events that's different than Elizabeth's reason for being near Edwin's house.
He said they were very possessed a Volkswagen Passat that Edwin still had it, that they believed was the property of Hawes Lawn Service, which was this. Edwin had left or was kicked out of it. When they ran Andrew's name in the state computer database, there was nothing that forbid Andrew from having contact with Edwin Hawes. Those type of court orders at the time were not put into the state computer system.
Meanwhile, deputies go to the residence that Edwin Hawes lives at. Well after 3 a.m., approaching 4 a.m.,
They knocked on the door. Martin Welton answers. But he was not too concerned about it at the time.
Mr. Weltman also tells him that the thought that he usually drives is not there.
The deputy didn't speak the blood in the dry. It's still the middle of the night. It's dark. There was no reason to investigate further. Back at the golf course, Elizabeth ultimately did acknowledge that she had been at Edwin's house in violation of the order of protection.
So Elizabeth Hawes is then arrested and then processed for violating an order for protection. Andrew, because he's feeling better, is allowed to drive away in that Hawes lawn vehicle.